Today is March 2nd, 2026. I am literally waiting for the phone to... Oh, maybe it's the theater owner right now. No, it's not. I'm waiting for a theater owner to call and say, okay, we have a slot for you to come in at this time. But at the same time, I'm also waiting for other people's schedules to line up. So we all talk about how the theater is the most important thing that like green lights a show. We have a very specific group of people. We want to do this for the most part, who've been with us and all these things. And we need to make sure they're available as well. So it's this incredible, like, I'm surprised it even happens sometimes, that all these things and all these people come together. I mean, theater is the most collaborative art form on the planet. I often say that making a musical is like trying to get 17 people to paint the Mona Lisa. It's like one person wants this color and one person wants this shade and texture. And what about lights this way? Like all sorts of things. And schedule is a big part of it nowadays because everyone is so busy. So we are constantly trying to make the show better in various ways, not only scenically. Like we've had a couple meetings with our set designer, our production manager. What can we do to make it more special and more unique? What about this idea? What can we do to make it more efficient? What can we do to make it more economical? And like that's, I think, an essential part. When you're in this holding pattern, you don't just sit and wait. So since we last checked in December, we've gone through one of what will be many passes at our budget in a way to make it more efficient. Scenically has been one thing. We're looking at the costumes. We're looking at a lot of things. Broadway is facing a lot of economic challenges right now. And I just refuse to do things the exact way we did it 10 years ago. We'd be doing them a disservice. Because it's a different world right now. It's a different audience right now. It's different economics right now. I've always said that a producer's job is to get the show to run as long as possible. Just very simply. If the show runs a long time, two missions are accomplished. Number one, the voice of the authors is heard by more people. And that is a producer's number one goal. I want to do this piece. The authors have written something. They have something to say. They want to make people laugh. Vacation is about a family coming together. The like sweetest part is his father-daughter duet in the second act. They have something to really say about a family of four, like going on vacation and how important that is. I want the most people to hear that as possible. I got to get the show to run a long time. Number two, the longer the show runs, the better my investors have a chance of getting their money back. Notice how I didn't say like make a ton of money, because the majority of investors in the theater, they just want to get it back. Why? So they can do it again. So we've done that with the budget. We've gone through line by line with the script. We're starting to really look at casting in a very specific way. Again, really like getting into the details, which I'm using this holding pattern time to do. If I had to describe this phase of the journey with one word, first of all, me and one word is a very hard thing to do. I would say, I mean, look, it's exciting. We know we have something special. Every time we read this thing, whether it's like, it puts big smiles on everyone's face. And right now, you look at the headlines, you like live in this country. That is what people need more than anything. It's actually why the Broadway musical was created in the first place, to make people forget about the headlines for a couple hours and just have a blast. And also, I think in like our show specifically, it is all about a family. It's what is so important. So it's exciting because we know we have something special and we just can't wait to show everybody. I am not a patient person. And the toughest challenge is when you have something very exciting, you want to share it. Like I'm reminded of my 8-year-old. So like if she gets a new special something or draws something, she immediately is like, can I take this to school tomorrow? Because I want to share it. We have share in class. Like I want to share. That's how we all feel. I think theater artists that really are in touch with their inner child, shall we say. And when we have something really special, we just want to share it. And that's, I think, how we all feel right now. Every human being on this planet wants to be loved, right? And whenever you do something different and look at a different way of doing things, even with people who love you already, that can be hard. I think one of the biggest challenges for everyone working in the theater right now is post-pandemic, we're still in this very interesting phase. And we're not back to where we should be. We've returned to where we were, but where we should be is really up here. And it's making it very hard for everybody. artists are having to work like more jobs. Like it's all this stuff and it's really challenging. I've had to deliver a lot of like tough love. Hey, everybody, I know you did this already. Guess what? We need to do it again. And you need to come up with a different way to do this. And what about this? And that keeps me up at night because I don't want them to be upset. I wish it were easy. We all wish it were easy. But that's been hard. The amazing thing is, and this is why assembling the right team is so important, is that everyone has looked at me and been like, okay, let's do it. And they've literally rolled up their sleeves and they go, let's go. What's exciting about the creative process right now is that the authors are not like transplanting, like there's not giant it's like more of a fine tuning at this point. The show has gone through some very large phases of development, a reading last fall, a bigger reading the year before that. And now everyone feels like, okay, this is it. There's no like, hey, we're going to take the end of Act 1 and totally rewrite it, or the opening is going to be that. We're past that phase. We're not at the phase where we were 2 years ago. We're a 2-act musical. We're going to make it 90 minutes now. That's where we were 2 years ago. We're not doing that kind of stuff anymore. So it's really like, when you see those people at museums doing like the more finer touches on the paintings before they that's what it feels like. The most fun part of the work and the most exciting part of the work has been with Jason Sherwood recently, the set designer who designed this beautiful, glorious set for the Fifth Avenue Theater, which is this giant, giant theater. And we're now considering a slightly smaller theater in New York that gives us more options for when the theater owners call. Because if you say you only want big, you have to only do these many. Like, I want options, right? Creative collaboration is, I think, why people are in the theater. They don't want to be that novelist just sitting there. They want to work with other people. They want to be challenged. And that's been fun. And one of the things we're talking about is Broadway is not always the most, we don't look at things in the most efficient way. We look at it very short term and build for the short term and very quickly. And we don't think through a lot of things. We don't think down the road. With like big business thinks 10, 20, 30 years from now. Broadway, the challenge is, and it's not really our fault, we get a call from the theater owners last minute, or schedules line up, or a star wants to do a show, and it's like rush, rush, rush. So we can't think. We just got to solve the problem for today. If you have more time, then you could think about things a little bit more and hopefully try to gain some advantage. So one of the things we're talking about with Vacation is like, look, we don't just want the show to play on Broadway. We want the show to play on tour. Well, if we have more time, could we build a set that could do both? Could it come to New York? And then that same set, when we're done on Broadway, come out and go on the road. And if it's running for years and years, okay, we'll build another one. But we'll have learned how the show works on the touring set. We won't have to totally redesign, go through all that labor and re-tech in a new way. We'll know what the tour is because we'll have done it before. That's what franchises do, right? Like, that's what successful businesses do. And they go like, okay, that worked. I'm going to replicate it and do pretty much the same thing. We're thinking about that. Like, we want to be something that tours, that goes to London, that goes all over. How do we, because we have the time and that luxury, how can we design something, build something that works in all of the markets? That should make it a much better business model at the same time as just easier on everybody. It's going to save everybody time. I pitched an idea to my team the other day, which I'm not going to tell you what it is because it will ruin the surprise. But they literally were like, how could we do that? We could do that. And I, for one, when I pitch ideas, including to you or to anyone else on the team, and people say to me, how are we going to do that? I know that's when we have to do it, because that's what the audience will say. How did they do that? And that's what creates word of mouth. One of my goals as a producer is to put things on stage that people have never seen before. Because when you do that, you've created something super unique and super special that they can't shut up about. You've got to go see the show. You won't believe what they do. That discovery is, I think, what generates the type of palpable word of mouth you need to sell tickets in 2026 and beyond. So in the next 2 months, we're looking to finalize this next stage of the script, get a theater, and also finalize some casting. a mentor of mine said to me years ago, you want a show to happen, book a theater. When he said it to me 20 years ago, you could do that. I want a theater. Can I get one? You can't do that anymore. So now it's, you want a show to happen? Well, once you get that theater, look out. It is just like 0 to 60 and no seconds flat. Everything goes. So I'm hoping to be at that stage. I'm most proud of how the team has adopted to this new model that we're pitching, doing something different. That has been the most exciting part. What surprised me about the show in the last few months is how every time I read it, it gets a little funnier. Like I just get I put a giant smile on my face, or put a smile on my face like 6 months ago. And then I read it again and hear a new laugh or a new thing. And it just brings even more joy to me. And I can't wait for others to experience that. What's inspiring me outside of this process right now is actually the state of the world, which is not an inspiring thing, but it's why I believe I need to do what I do, and especially with this show. Like my mother said to me, 9/11 happened. And in the days that followed, my mother called me and said, you were going to be a lawyer. You're a smart kid, Kenneth. With everything that's going on in the world, should you be doing something like more important, something for good, like something monumental? Like, I think she was trying to get me to like run for office, which I am never doing. And she meant it in the best way, of course. My mother's been the most supportive person about my theater career. But I remember saying to her, like, Mom, I am. This is my version of that. I'm putting art into the world and entertainment into the world. And regardless of whether it's Spring Awakening or the Griswolds Broadway Vacation, every one of those things has its own bit of medicine, antidote to everything that's going on in the world. So what's inspiring me now is like, gosh, things are tough. I'm not smart enough. I'm not like able to fix a lot of those things. This I can do. This I can do and hopefully influence some people to help them with everything they're seeing on the news. If next month could bring one breakthrough, is that we have a theater.